So now I have to introduce Zarna Garg. Did I pronounce it right?
You absolutely.
Zarna
I'm better
Garg.
than my parents.
I'm so honored to have you because I started following you just because you're hilarious and you have this hilarious family. And I also just love women who don't give a fuck and are just so authentically themselves. And your energy, like I just want to be around you all the time. And then you messaged me and I was like, are we best friends now?
Same guy. How few women that you're like, she's so cool. We have to be in each other's orbit. That's literally what I was thinking.
Literally.
Why are we not in each other's orbit? You know what I mean? And then this variety thing happened.
Yes, I totally forgot.
I was like, somebody is listening. You know when that Google machine is listening?
Yeah.
It felt like somebody listened to both our brains.
Yes.
I know.
China knows what's going on.
Keep TikTok. They're doing a better job.
Well, we're actually quite similar, me and you.
Yeah.
I did some research. You know, we both started stand-up around the same time.
Is that true?
My first show was at Caroline's.
No, mine too.
In April 2019, to a crowd of 300 people, I did 10 minutes. But it was like a podcast show. My friend was like, I dare you to do 10 minutes of stand-up. Because I've been writing and doing sketches and stuff. So, and everyone has told me, they're like, you're so green, you're so green. I'm like, I know. And then you come out with a special on Amazon. Everyone's losing their shit. And I do some research and I'm like, she has a similar path to me and she doesn't give a fuck.
No.
Because you're doing what you're meant to do.
And you can't give a fuck. No one is going to invite us. Okay?
True.
Here's the thing. No one is going to say to you, you are ready. Here is $1 million.
No.
Come do this. No. You have to barrel your way through.
Yes.
That's how women get it done.
Yes.
You have to say, oh, no, I'm ready when I say I'm ready.
But what do you say to women who will constantly tell themselves, I'm not ready because it has to be so good and so perfect?
Do we not know that perfection is the enemy? Come on. This is old news now.
Yes.
This is, if you haven't been reading up on this.
A man has never done anything perfect in the history of men.
Perfect. They're not even on the path. And they don't think twice. They're not even playing the game they're supposed to play. Like, you will have a golfer who will join a basketball team because he's like, I played with balls. You know what I mean? And the women will be like, I don't know, let me make it shiny. No,
the reason there's not more female pilots is because we don't have the delusion to be like, yeah, I could fly a plane in the air. And men are like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
They can't even find something in a grocery store and they're flying planes, but we're like, oh, we have to do it perfect.
My husband doesn't know where the kitchen is. We've lived in our apartment for 10 years. He's like, can you get me some water? And he's really that helpless because like he doesn't know we have a faucet and the glass is right next to it.
So this is my question to you.
And he's one of the better ones. That's the scary part.
I don't even know where to start with you. I have so many fucking questions. Okay, let's start from the beginning. So you're in India doing your thing.
Yeah.
1 in a billion, your Amazon special. How'd you get that name?
Well, I took it.
It's hilarious.
No, I took it. I was like, I am going to own the whole madness. Whatever this is,
yes.
I'm not going to be coy about it. I'm not going to be shining. I'm not going to call it daisies and puppies. Like, no, no one else is doing what I'm doing. I'm freaking sticking my neck out there. And therefore, and if I say so, I am 1 in a billion.
Yes. It is so funny, so smart, and so iconic, the title. So the title could be everything for a project.
It helps.
It helps for sure.
And I do think that women generally try to underplay.
Yeah.
Oh, be a little modest. Like, you can't. Where is modesty getting in? Are you looking at the women who are succeeding?
Yeah.
Everything about them is out there. Like, when I say everything, like the Kardashians, who I worship. Yeah. I love them. I love the Kardashians. But I've seen it all. Yes. Haven't we all?
Yes.
You know what? And they own it. They're like cash. With
yes.
2 Ks.
Yes.
Yes.
You're kind of the Indian Kardashian.
Oh my God. Stop this podcast now. We cannot top this.
You're like, if Kris Jenner, because you're a momager, you're putting your kids on.
Yes.
But you're your own talent. You're like if Kim and Kris moved to India, had a baby.
That would be probably me and my kids.
You're in, you like pop culture? You like it a lot?
Oh
so you're scrolling.
All day. I'm the worst. That's why I'm no role model to my kids. I have kids, they're like, I have to fill out the reading log. I'm like, it's a lie. Nobody tells the truth on that. Throw the thing away. Like, let's watch Netflix. you know, because you know why they do all those things like
Mhm.
reading log or blah, just because they know the moms will obsess over it and put them
Yes.
on an endless cycle of nonsense.
Yes.
No dad I know ever cared about. Do you see a single man missing
My dad
their
can't read.
oh, see, and he's fine, and you're fine. Are you here with me right now?
Yes.
Are we doing this? Do you have the hottest podcast in the business? You just became the poster child for it. Like seriously, they do all these nonsense things just to keep women on these nonsensical like treadmills of like, oh, you shouldn't do that. No, we should do
Yes.
nothing.
Well, you were. Let's be honest. We are similar, but we are different in that I was born in Brooklyn, New York, in a very progressive city. Everyone could do what they love. I went to a school that was like, I studied drama.
Oh my god. Oh no.
It was a like specialized drama. We did like project-based assessments where we would perform our essays. Like I was in full.
Perform my essays.
In history instead of tests, we would explain what happened at the war, and I don't remember anything. It didn't work, but nothing really worked. But you were born in a place where like they told you what your life was going to be from the
Yeah.
second you popped out of the pussy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, they
When
tried.
when did you feel like this wasn't the traditional path I wanted to go down?
So my mom passed suddenly when I was 14 and change.
Yeah.
And I was the youngest of 4. And my dad, the next day, he's like, you need to get arranged. I'm done parenting. Literally, this is what he said to
So
me.
they say arranged, they don't say marriage.
No, you need to get arranged. You need to get set. No, marriage is
It's
like the
basically
more-
like you need
You
another
were done.
man
Yeah,
to be
I'm
taken care of.
My dad literally said, I am done parenting. and I was the youngest of 4. And honestly, I have 3 kids now. If I had a 4th, I might throw my own kid out of
Yes,
the
so
window.
you
But I
understand.
didn't just say that, but I said it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we heard
It is
it.
a lot.
Mhm.
But he was like so over the whole thing. I think he was also broken because my
Yeah.
mom, whatever. And I grew up on American pop culture in India.
Yeah.
I grew up watching like every TV show, every comic book. I was like, there is a world where people don't just get married.
Yeah.
Like all these TV shows, they're like roommates, like whatever that is.
You're like, what about friends with benefits?
Yeah, I mean, I was like, why am I? That's not looking so bad. There's a lot of them just having coffee all day
But also,
long.
you're 14. Have
Yeah.
you even kissed a boy before?
No, but I was the intellectual. I like going to school, and that's a big problem in India. If you're the girl who's like, I love reading, they're like, no, don't expand your mind. We don't need your mind needs to be contracted. The men, you expand your mind, and those dummies don't read.
Yeah.
So I was the kid who loved going to school,
Yeah.
who was like, I'm gonna go to college and I'm gonna change the world, like
Mhm. So you had it in you at a young age.
Oh my god, I would have rocked an Ivy League degree to the nth degree. You don't even know it
Yes.
if I had the opportunity.
Yes, but
which-
it's funny because my grandma, who is way older than you, they dealt with it similarly in Brooklyn. She was Italian.
yeah.
She told her dad at 17 years old, I want to go to art school, which, not an Ivy League, but like she wanted to
No, but
study.
yeah,
He started to cry and said,
Oh.
you need to get married.
Yeah.
It's literally the patriarchy just like suffocating these women.
And the crazy thing is that didn't come, I'm sure for your grandma or for me, didn't come from a bad place. Like my dad was like, the more you know, the more sad you're gonna be, and the more the world is gonna be harder. Just
Mhm.
get married. I'll find you a nice guy. You will, he'll take care of you.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
Yeah, they're following what they know has worked.
Exactly. I think it came from a good place.
Yeah.
But I was like, I am so not, not doing this. Because,
So did he try to arrange you at 14?
Yeah. Yeah, he did. But I left. And so he's like, if you don't want to listen to me,
Yeah.
you can't live here anymore. Now, when you say that to a 14, 15-year-old, to me, I was like, all right, well, I've been wanting to do pajama parties. At that age, you're like, I remember my friend Sonia has invited me like 3 times and I haven't gone. So, like, guess what? I'm ready now.
You go, I dare you to kick me out. I dare you.
It went like that. And I showed up at my friend's house, and after 2 days, they're like, my mom thinks you need to go back. Oh God. And I was like, okay.
So then-
didn't think this through.
So then you get up and go to a new high school in Ohio.
College. I
College.
had just finished. Because in India, everything so India is harsh across the board. If the kid can sit up, they're going to school.
Yeah.
Like, so we start school at like 2, 3, and it's like not very logical. It's like they're holding a pencil first grade. Yeah. Here it's a lot more like, enjoy your childhood.
Yeah.
There they're like, put him to work. So,
but then the girls are like, don't learn too much, but learn, but not too much.
And have one skill. Don't overwhelm the boys. Like, do one thing. Paint. Paint is a safe skill.
Yeah.
And I literally, but when I was getting arranged, like, what's your hobby? Reading? Like, literally the number one thing that's going to get you knocked off every list. Cooking, painting, art, dance, singing, those are the coveted hobbies.
You're like, I
for
just
women.
like doing massage.
Exactly. That exactly. You just acted out the dream arranged candidate.
Would a lot of women fake what they're like?
Of course they did.
Yeah.
Come on, wouldn't you?
Yes.
If you knew this was the system. You're like, reading, what's that?
I mean, let's
don't
be
know,
honest. I faked to get married.
Yeah.
You don't think I knew how to cook for the first couple months? You don't think I was like cleanly and, pretending like I chew when I eat?
But you were smart. You were smart to fake it, because those of us who were stupid, then we ended up being the ones doing it all the time. Like,
Oh, yeah.
You're so good at it.
No. That's one thing about me. I'm not a babysitter.
Yeah.
I'm not a caretaker, and I never was and I never will be. And I did learn you can suffocate yourself in a situation being what a man wants, but if you're not who you are, like, I don't care how rich he is, how hot he is, how smart he is, you'll be miserable.
Oh. And who I am is like pretty lazy. Yeah. I don't know how else to say it.
I was on the phone with my mom walking here, and it was so funny because I was like, I love Zarna on Instagram. And I was like, Mom, you have to follow her because you'd love her too. And I had this moment where I was like, wait, this is a comic. And my mom loves comedy, but I'm like, you're going to love it so much because she's going to have so much. Like, my mom's a badass too. She was like a principal of a middle school.
She's your mom, first.
And like, there was no women as principals like
Of
back then.
course.
And she was like badass. So you moved to Ohio.
Yeah.
What was the culture shock like? And were you a slut in college?
I was not a slut in college because I was scared. Not for moral reasons at all. My sexuality is so fucked up in India.
Yes.
They scare the shit out of you.
Yes.
And they scared the shit out of me. And now I use it on my kids. So I'm
Yes.
all about it.
Yes.
But I was petrified. I was like, if I touch somebody, also we're Indian, so there's some truth to that. If I touch somebody, I'm gonna get pregnant. If I stand next to a boy, I'm gonna get pregnant. We come from a land of so much population.
And everyone's pregnant in
And
India.
everybody, like literally, like got married yesterday, today, like, oh baby. The whole thing goes so fast and it's so scary to us that we're
Yeah.
like, we live in fear.
Yeah.
And plus also I like had no money. I was like just hanging by a thread trying to finish my degree
Yes.
so I could get another foothold in America.
Yes.
So it was like the men were the last thing on my mind. I was
Mhm.
like, whatever, you're gonna just sidetrack me for no reason.
Yeah.
But Ohio was interesting. Very warm, very loving. But the year that I moved, and you may actually be too young for this, but the biggest person in the news was Jeffrey Dahmer.
Milwaukee.
Actually, he was in Akron, Ohio. The town I moved to.
Oh my God.
So I was like, this is what people do in houses in America. I was like, that TV show in India is all made up. This is what's actually going on. My dad was right.
Serial killers are like the scariest thing in the world, and I love watching them all day.
I know.
But like, to be like the first thing you do in America is like, there's a crazy man running around, but I don't know if he was into Indian women.
He wasn't. But the fact that I can't.
But you were kind of jealous. You're like, why wasn't he into me?
Well, I mean, I feel like that about everybody. But yeah, what are you? Somebody doesn't pay attention to me. I'm like, something's wrong with you.
I was like, I love attention. I don't care if it's bloody. I'm a pick me
I'll
girl.
take the engagement. I am bludgeoned on Instagram. Like every comment is like hate. I'm like, thank you so much. Your call is important to us. shameless is not even funny.
You answer every hate comment like you're like a automatic call.
Like little heart emojis. Like, I'm like, you hated this. Let me show you 2 more.
But you know what they say about some people online to get viral videos is they'll create a fake account and say something controversial,
Yeah.
so people start fighting in the comments.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
No. I know, whatever. It's a war out
You're like,
there.
it's me. I've been doing it.
I don't do it because I don't have the time.
Yeah.
If I had the time, I would do it. I'm not above it. I'd be honest.
Yes.
It's a war out there, and however you can get it.
Yes.
Building these things, it's a grind.
It is
24/7.
Yeah, and you're battling yourself a lot because it could be lonely,
Oh, completely. I mean, it's like, thank God for the drugs.
What's your favorite drugs?
Come on, you know what I mean?
Prozac?
Prescription drugs.
Prozac.
Yeah. Prozac, Xanax.
Yes.
The sleep one. What's the sleep? Ambien.
Ambien.
Yeah.
So I just imagined you just
They
like...
should just sell it in grocery stores at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all taking them.
At least like the amount that I have to fight to get my birth control every couple weeks, I'm stopping. It's like too much. That's why I started to get pimples. But anyway, I don't want to talk about it. So you're in Ohio.
Just spend 2 days with the kid. You're gonna need no birth control. Spend 2 days with the baby. You're like, I hate this. You will understand why not to do it at all.
That is a perfect segue. Did you want to be a mom, and how'd you become a mom?
Well, I mean, I married my husband. I mean, first of all, full disclosure, I completely trapped him. That was not, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, that was... But that you do what you have to do.
Why him?
But he was good. He was smart. He was Indian. Like,
what does good mean?
Like, he was a good guy from a good family. Like, it was like all the few basics that I really wanted were met. So I was like, let's not overthink this. I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. Do you know what I mean? Like relax with how many options you have.
Yeah.
And he was in Switzerland. It's a whole thing. We met online. We met at JFK. Yeah. So in 1997, I was, I think, the only Indian woman speaking for herself online, because everybody else was like my mom. Back then, anything you did on social media or there was no social media on the internet was like, what if it's a serial killer?
Yes.
Everything.
And then you knew there was an actual serial killer running around, so it made sense.
You just didn't put yourself out into the world the way you do today.
So your parents were trying to get you arranged?
No, that was done. I was in America. I was finishing up law school at that point. And I was like, I'm old. I was 21. It's old for the world I come from. You have to understand, it's all about where you come from.
Yeah.
And so I was like, internet was new, internet dating. I had seen like glimpses of it. I was like, oh, I should check this out. So I found this Indian matrimonial site. It was called Matrimonials, like for marriage, which was perfect. Because at that time in America, the show Friends was at its peak.
Oh, cool.
Do you know the show Friends?
Yes.
And that show is horrifying to Indian people. Because no one's ever getting married on that show. Do you know that? Him and her, and him and her. And then they keep switching. And it's like, when is the wedding going to happen? So I was like, my dad was so right. Like every fear he had pounded into my head was like coming true.
Yeah.
So I put an ad out there to meet somebody. And I was like, you know what? There's no point attracting 10 wrong guys. Just put what you want out there. I was like, you got to be brilliant. I got to see proof of your brilliance. Bring your tax returns, because that's how in an arranged marriage, that was what the families would match.
So we can learn from arranged marriages maybe to cut the crap with some online dating.
I believe America needs arranged marriages.
Yeah.
Because what goes on here, like you see The Bachelor, that TV show?
Yes.
Okay. What is happening?
I always say that, as someone who knows about reality TV, I could fall in love with a fucking barnacle if there's a producer in my ear saying he likes me and that America's into it and I'm competing with other women for the barnacle. I will fuck a barnacle, okay? So I've seen, like, one of my friends, Mary Beth Barone, had this joke where she was like, I want to know proof that you've been to therapy. I want to see a recommendation from your therapist that you are equipped to have a healthy relationship. So what do you think people should ask for on first dates to stop doing? Because I'll get along with any hot guy for 6 months. I'll pretend to be like someone I'm not for 6 months, and then I realize who they are, and then I'm miserable.
Right.
It's very easy to fake a good relationship for 6 months.
And I think there's a lot of pressure on women especially to do it.
Yeah.
Like to feel like they're in a relationship and blah, blah. I think you should just honestly be like, first of all, do you have a job?
Yes.
No, like a real, because in today's generation, you have to specify job means money, because everybody's got a gig, you know what I mean? And then, like, how much money do you make? You know, it's part of the thing. And this is what I do. I would be like, this is everything that I do. Just say it. And this is what I want to do.
How is your husband dealing with your success right now?
Oh, he's having a ball. No, let me explain something to you. People hate on me, they love him. He's done nothing. They don't know him. They don't know his mother. They love him. They love his mother. They like troll me. They're like, how can you talk about your husband like that? I'm like, you don't know him. He could be beating me up for all you know. And they're like, how can you talk about his mother? It's his mother. I'm like, you don't know her. She's the biggest cunt on earth. Like, seriously.
No, you have one of my friends who's a comic. She talks about her husband all the time, and everyone's like, you're so mean to him. And she's like, he's sitting on piles of money that I'm making from him from the show.
Yes.
So he's happy. He's on a boat right now that I paid for.
and you know, when the guys do it, everybody's like, oh, you know, if Ray Romano did it, it's like, oh,
my annoying cunt
such
wife.
A nice. But the women do it, and it's like, oh my god, I get hate. Like, you want to tell your troll story, like, for real, for real. This guy, like, I get hateful trolls all the time. If I post a mother-in-law joke all the time, and they all defend my husband and his mother, like, they just spring to his
mother-in-law jokes are like the center of comedy.
And has never been done for the Indians, though. Can you believe? Can you believe? Can you believe? What have we been thinking?
So you are really like breaking boundaries.
I mean, it's breaking something.
Relationships.
So anyway, this guy is like trolling me about some mother-in-law joke, and he's like, if you were my wife, I would tie you up and I would beat you with a stick, and I would put my dick in your mouth, and I would put my dick in your eye, and I would put 2 dicks in your mother's mouth, and we're like just going on, and dick here and dick there, and dick in your back and dick on your head. And then I felt pressure to offer locations. I was like, dick under my toes and dick in my armpit and dick in my elbow. I felt for this guy, you know, and his rage in the moment. So I'm like, yes, we should do dick. I mean, this is all going on Instagram. I'm like, dick, 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 dick. And then my maternal instinct kicked in. I'm like, are you just having a bad day?
Yeah.
You know, and the guy's like, how did you know?
But you know what's funny? You getting hate is just part of you going viral. Like, when you become popular, then all these people see it, and people love to attack something that a lot of people are liking. And that's just part of the game, unfortunately. And you can't, my thing is, I don't look at comments.
Oh, so you know, my husband said that. He's like, don't look at the comments.
My husband made me stop looking at comments.
Right?
Because I come in, I'd be like, meh, meh, meh. And he'd be like, why are you in a bad mood? Did you look at the comments? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay, so this happens every time. So either you can live the rest of your life like this. My thing is, if a comment causes you to stop wanting to post or be creative, then they won.
Right. Yeah, but you can't.
And you can't. So, but if you're having fun with it and you're mature, but like, I feel like when you're younger, sometimes you could really believe some stuff.
No, I'm sure I can see that. Yeah. I really can. But I mean, I'm married. It's night. I'm late at night in my bed. What do you want me to do? Of course I'm scrolling the comments.
I want to fight some trolls. Did you want to be a mom?
Yes, but
yes,
I didn't know what all it was. Like, you know, I come from a generation where you just had kids.
Yeah, you don't question it.
You didn't think about it. And I come from a world where you have so many kids and everybody turns out, you know, they're fine, whatever. Mm-hmm. But to do it in America, in New York City, and by yourself, I had no idea what I had signed up for. None whatsoever.
So you raised your kids in New York City?
All 3 are raised in Manhattan.
Shut up.
Yeah, all 3 of them.
Do you love New York City?
Not exactly, because I have hated it. I love the city, but it's so expensive.
You love to hate it.
It's so expensive that for 20 years I've been like, we shouldn't. Like, every relative I have in America owns a motel and has paid off their house and put their kids through
7
free college.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Like, meanwhile, I'm like, I don't know, it's Christmas. Am I going to get a Subway card? Like, you know, I feel like I live the most sad, pathetic life, even though people think I'm rich. Like, some people think I'm rich. I'm like, if you only knew the stresses. You know, you live in New York, you're never rich. You never. You leave the apartment, it's like $100 just went somewhere. I don't even know where it went. And then I have kids, so every time they go somewhere, the money is gone. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, we don't even know where it went. Like, I'm reusing my Starbucks cup. I like show up like a sad homeless lady. I'm like, I just bought it yesterday. It's been 3 months. I'm trying to get a refill.
Wait, why'd you guys move to New York for work?
Work. My husband's job was, we've been here since the beginning of his career.
So you went to law school, you got
Yeah.
married, and then you become a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, because the kids, it was like more expensive to.
Yeah.
Actually, I couldn't even figure out how.
Yeah.
You see all the Hollywood movies, and it's
Mhm.
like Jessica Alba is looking sexy, and she's running with the kid on her high heels. And that's the opposite of my life.
Yeah.
I was at Costco, big tubs, like 10 bags of grocery. I was like, I can't do that. I'm gonna lose my mind. So
Yeah.
I stayed home. I was with home for 16 years.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes, but I really wanted to work. I was desperate to go back to work.
Yeah.
Desperate.
Yeah.
My friends who know me from back there say that I was acting like a caged tiger because I was so angry with what my life had become. I had fought
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
to get an education, to come to America,
Yeah.
and then to somehow turn into the mom who was like doing mommy and me class and another mommy
Yeah.
and me class and then soccer.
Yeah.
Like, no, let me just tell you something. I hope my son doesn't listen to this. He listens to your podcast. My kids are not going to be soccer superstars. Okay? Somebody in America, the parents need to tell their kids that if your kid is running away from the ball, that is a sign that you don't have a soccer superstar on your hands. And yet we all stand there like fools and we're clapping. And you want some more water? No one wants water. Go home, do your chess, do your spelling bee.
Let's say we did and not, like it's nice we got some vitamin D, but let's not act that we have an Olympian on our hand.
I mean, for years, you just stand there and you lie and you lie. And I'm sitting here thinking, what have I become? What am I doing? Like, my daughter is like twirling on ice, like, the ice skating. She was an ice skater and
Yeah.
whatever. I was like, but it was like 4 a.m, show up at the rink with the thing. And like, what am I trying to turn her into? But she's not going to beat the ballerinas and the Russian ice skating gymnasts by doing ice skating in freaking Central Park for twice a week. And I'm
This makes
standing
me
there
laugh
like
so hard.
lying like a...
Because I come from like a family that's all about sports. Like my grandpa was a basketball coach in Brooklyn. Like everything was about, is Hannah athletic? Like at a young age, I was throwing the ball, I was punching people, I was playing tennis. Everything was hand-eye. Was I fast? I was running. I was like, me and my dad would be like in the gym when I was like 6. Like I was that.
Okay.
He had a son, but I was his his son. So when I totally understand that like sports is so good for like your confidence, team building, all that stuff. But like people are like, do you want your kids to be athletes? And I'm like, honestly, it's a pain in the ass. Do I want to be waking up at 5 a.m. all the time? Do I want them stressed as an 8-year-old about if they're going to win their match? I want them to just like have fun, like finger painting. Okay.
The thing is that I see all the merits of athletics, and my kids are athletes.
Yes.
But the entire burden is on the mother. Let me explain something to you. If the men had to handle it, all the sports would be over by now. Because, and they might do it because there are guys who, like your dad, who
Yeah.
like to do the sports thing.
But like the organization of like getting me to the tournament,
Oh.
my dad and I once forgot my shoes.
Yes,
I showed up to the tennis match with no shoes.
exactly.
And my mom was just like,
This was you. That's my husband. He would be like, you're tired, I'll take them. You just get them ready. I just get them ready. Hello, you just named the most important part of the job. Like, actually driving there is the easiest part. What are you talking about?
no, I'd have no water bottle, no socks,
The
no tennis
uniform.
racket.
The uniform or whatever t-shirt you're supposed to
Always
wear
wrong.
for the team. The socks. There were so many times my son was benched because he got the wrong whatever. It's like, we got the uniform from last year and I didn't know and the husband didn't know. Oh my God. So I loved having kids. I think they're fine. Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah.
They're expensive, but they're fine.
Yes.
But it's been so much work. And now I know, but cutting the bullshit helped my sanity.
Yes.
And I advise it to everybody, including my own daughter.
Well, I love hearing your mothering advice with your knowledge of like multiple cultures of how to have a successful family. whatever you
Well,
define
people
success
say
as.
random things in America. Like, I remember when the kids were born, they were like, women in the third world breastfeed till they're 3. I'm like, no, they don't. No one is doing it. What are you talking about? We have formula. Like, what? People here like romanticize the
Yeah.
whole old school way of doing it, and I'm like,
Yes.
they're all watching Netflix. Like, they're
Wait,
not like
what's your religion?
Hindu.
Hindu.
Yeah, Hindu.
What should someone who doesn't know about Hindu know about Hindu?
Do we have many, many gods? Many. Thousands. But there is not a god of height. The one thing every Indian person needs, we don't have. There's a steam engine god, there's a rain god, there's a wind god. I wish there was a god that helped you find your iPhone. But that doesn't exist, and I can only say it here because those jokes got cut out of my special.
I love them.
In India, they're like, you can't say. The minute you say the word religion or Hindu, you're like in trouble with the biggest of the biggest people.
Yeah.
So they like edited the whole thing out of my special in India. But like, if you're an American, you can hear this, you know it's true.
So in India, when it airs, it's different than in America.
There, a couple of jokes have been
A couple
taken
of
out.
jokes.
Only because I mentioned the word Hindu.
Wow.
I'm a proud Hindu. So I have
Yes.
not, like, I would never trash my religion or any religion.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, it's not my vibe.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not an insult comic in that way that, like, let me pick on you. That's not my vibe.
Yeah.
It's just a comment on, like, oh, there's no god of height. And they're like, you can't say that.
I mean, that's that is so funny.
We're all short people. Do you think it would have helped? Like, retire the steam engine god.
Haven't seen an NBA Hindu before.
I think there's one guy somewhere. People quote him. I've never
and
seen
he's
it.
1 in a billion.
Yeah, he's like, but we've never seen him. I've never seen him. And he may be the one tall guy, like, there may have been some like 23andMe situations.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes,
probably
true.
not.
True. I mean, he could have converted.
Yeah.
Also, but I feel like these 16 years have, during a time that you might have felt lost or not sure what's going on, or you felt like I want to do something else, I feel like, so it's given you a wealth of comedic material.
I know that in hindsight. I didn't back then, but my kids and their friends would always hang out at my house because
Yeah.
I was still the hangover from Akron, Ohio. I was
Yeah.
like, don't go to their house because you don't know.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Or there's guns and they have pet
Yes.
snakes and it's like all kinds of things that I'm
Yes.
not used to.
So you were like, come here,
You
at least
call
I
them
can
all
see
here.
you.
I'll feed everybody. I
Yep.
always offered free food to everybody. I was like, I'll
Yes.
feed it, and that gets kids.
Yes.
And so they would come, and my daughter was like, they all think you're so funny. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm actually yelling at the kid, like, don't do poetry club. Don't waste time on that. Like, go do math. And they think it's so funny. So that's where they were like, you should do comedy.
So your kids
Yeah.
told you. When was the first time you knew that you could make people laugh?
I didn't. I still don't. I'm not trying to be funny. That's the funniest part of my comedy is that I'm actually mean at everything I say on stage.
Does your husband laugh at your stuff?
He does now. He's like, oh my God. He used to, we go for walks famously because it's the only cheap activity we can do.
Yeah.
We go for long walks. And during our walks for years, he would tell me, like, what happened today? And I would be, oh, this happened in school. It's like, no, Zarna the story. So my name had become a verb in his life because he knew I could always exaggerate and
Yes.
embellish and be like, and then you know what his mother said and the teacher said, and they've all lost their minds. So he would always be like, Zarnafy the story. And I would like,
Perform it.
Yeah. And now he's like, oh my God, now you're going to do this for everybody? This was my thing.
Wait, this is incredible. I love when you take an idea in your head and go, I think I could be a stand-up comedian, and then you see someone execute their dream. Because my thing is, what psychotic thing was going on in your head that you thought, yeah, I'm a mom of 3 and I can do this, when there's not a lot of examples of women who are mothers and Indian doing stand-up in America?
I think not knowing is a blessing.
Yes.
I was under the stay-at-home mom cloud for so long, actually rock, not even a cloud. Like, I was diapering babies, the classes, the school. When I came out from under it and this situation, my daughter's like, you should do it. I was like, first of all, they ganged up on me. So they were like, oh, mom's too scared. For 15, 16 years, I made them do things they didn't want to do.
Yeah.
So it kind of turned on me a little bit. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go and just do something so I can come back and say I tried it.
So you found an open mic?
I found an open mic. A friend's mom said, oh, my friend runs an open mic. You should go there. I didn't even know what an open mic was.
Yeah.
I had never been to a comedy club to watch comedy.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what any of this was. So I just showed up there and I said, my kids have sent me here. I don't know what to do. And she said, why don't you go on stage and just talk about whatever you think is funny? And I was like, anything? And she goes, anything. And I said, so I just started trashing my mother-in-law. Because who doesn't think that's funny? Right? And the audience was dying. And I was like, really? This is a job? Like,
it's so funny because I was raised on my dad and my grandpa who were so funny, and all they would do is tell these insane mother-in-law jokes. And I was like 6 years old. I don't even know what a mother-in-law is, and I was dying laughing about the mother-in-law.
You know that if that's the name of it, mother-in-law, there's a dynamic that's just waiting to be like, oh my God.
Can I tell you one of the jokes?
Tell me,
okay,
yes.
And it might have, I don't know where they got it. Maybe you've heard of it before. But my dad does this whole spiel about these guys were asked, they were like, if you want to be in the FBI, we have to be able to trust you. And we have to know that you'll do anything to get the job done. So the final step is in each room is your mother-in-law. And there's a gun, and we need you to shoot her.
Oh, yeah.
So the first guy goes in, you wait a couple minutes, he comes out, he's like, I couldn't do it, I'm sorry, this job isn't for me. Second guy goes in, waits a little longer, comes out, I couldn't do it, this job isn't for me. Third guy goes in, they start hearing some like slapping and screaming and punching and like glass breaking. He comes out and he's like, whew, sorry, someone put a blank in a gun, so I had to strangle her. So that's what I was raised on as a kid.
Oh my God, talk about dark.
No, literally, I was 7 years old. And I was like, what the fuck? But anyway, so we love mother-in-laws here. So your kids, when you said that like you don't know anything, that's what happened to me, because I dated a comic before, so I like knew the scene, I knew the people, but no one told me like how he got to where he is.
Right.
So the first time I did comedy, because I was tweeting a lot, I was like, I'll do 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And they were like, you did. They're like, people take 5 years to get to 10 minutes, and I was like, but I have a story and I have a couple bits.
Yeah.
And then I realized like so much is people tell like your whole life, people tell you what it should be. But then if you can get the nerve to be like, I want to do it my own way, sometimes like magical shit happens.
And we live in a different world today. Like, I think there was a time when you sat and you honed every joke to perfection.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this word doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Let me try it on 50 open mics with this word.
With this cadence.
Yeah. We don't live in that world anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You and I could probably do like a 5-minute IG live and just read out whatever's on our mind, and we would know right away what's resonating, what's not resonating.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I did during the
pandemic. I used to just tweet, and if a tweet did well, I go, that's my new closer.
That's your new, exactly. That's the new thing. And we don't have the luxury to save anything.
Yeah.
Whatever is you're thinking, it's out in the moment. You know, there was a
people would never
don't
post.
burn your material.
Oh my gosh. I used to yell at people. I go, okay, so, and it's funny because like we both want, like you have a special, I'm working on potentially have a special one day. And I'm like, I'm not going to save it for the Netflix special that I don't have.
No.
Instead, I'm going to post this bit. And if 1 million people see it, that's 1 million people that didn't know me before. Or should I hide it for the Netflix special that's not there yet?
No, exactly. And I think you and I kind of caught on the social media wave around the same time.
Yeah.
It seems like.
Yeah.
Because it's like, people used to be like, don't burn your best jokes. I'm like, but no one's seeing it.
No one's seeing it. Yes.
And we're dying.
And you know what? The jokes that I love that you do, I would pay to watch you say them to me.
Yeah.
Because they're fucking hilarious.
And you got to keep creating. Like, you can't. We don't have the luxury today oh, you have an hour, you released an hour, now take 3 years to do the next hour. That's not how it's gonna work.
Also, you're so right. I feel like nowadays everything is so fast where like jokes that were relevant 3 months ago that I was saying aren't relevant anymore. And like, yeah, you can't work on material for 6 years and put out that special. Like 6 years ago, that shit was not funny. I mean,
and no one's gonna know it 2 years from now.
and we love pop culture. So like, I want to make jokes about the submarine now, and I can't be doing it in my special a year later.
Yeah. So it's a balancing
Yes.
act. Now that I have put a special out there, it's a balancing act. Like you can put the idea. The idea is, I think, on social media, and correct me if I'm wrong, is for people to know what kind of humor you do.
Yes.
Because once they understand the vibe, they either want to buy into it in real life or not, or on a digital space. But in order to get that vibe out there, you do have to put material out there. How else are they gonna know?
Exactly. So I'm like, I'd rather people know and possibly hear a joke, like a similar joke that I've been working on. But your videos with your kids are so good. And first of all, your kids are so cool and just like down to be in it. And they're at that age where like, you know, they're becoming who they are. So it's this beautiful, like, it's actually at the end of the day, you're shitting on them, you're making fun of them, they're making fun of you. But it's so cute that you guys have this fun relationship together.
You know, we didn't grow up, like my kids, my family didn't grow up with a lot of means. Even though it looks like we're a very wealthy Upper East Side family, we're like Upper East Side by a thread. And we lived there for our kids' schooling mostly. And so my husband could get to his job. We spent all our time together. We rarely, I think in 20 years, we've taken 2 vacations.
Wow.
Because we work. Both my husband and I are immigrants. Like we don't have the money and to take 5 people out anywhere. It's expensive.
Yeah.
So I believe in fun.
Yes.
I believe we can have fun right here. Like we don't need to go anywhere.
I love that.
We do everything on the
It's
cheap.
not where you are, it's who you're with.
And it's what's inside you. You can, if you just want to have fun, that fun can be had here. Like I now in summer, I'm working on a whole series of videos because you know it's such a New York thing to ask. Where do you summer? I'm like at work. Where do I summer? Like I'm not in school. I have to work.
So you love being like, what are my videos I'm gonna be putting out?
Yeah.
I mean, love it.
And I like to offer my life as hopefully as a therapeutic, soothing balm. That if you're a family that cannot go to Italy and post the business class photos and like all is not lost. In fact, nothing is lost.
Yeah.
I feel like we created a very loving unit right here.
Yes.
Just taking our ball to Central Park whenever we had time.
The whole joke is that, you're on business class, but you're fighting with your husband who you hate. And you're miserable.
And you're still scrolling Instagram.
And
so just sit
you're
at
still
home.
comparing yourself to the other person who's going to, Italy. And you're going to Sweden. And you want to go to Italy. No, you're so fucking right about that. I could totally see you starring in a sitcom, obviously. But I also could even see like a reality type family show like the Kardashians, like centered around you and your sense of humor, because it's so fascinating. And your kids, I mean, because the kids grew up in America and they have all these like very Western ideals, and to hear you bring your 2 cents in is just like gold.
What my daughter's dating a white boy.
Yes.
And
I'm
it
sorry.
gets a lot of, no, it's okay. It's a phase. Everybody goes through it. And he's very sweet. So it's not like he's Jewish. And he's very, very sweet. And I like tell my daughter, I'm like, whatever makes you happy, you do you. Because if I don't, then she's going to need more therapy. And now I got to pay for the therapy. I'm like, no.
And kids, they like feeling like they're being naughty.
Yeah.
Like my brother wanted a tattoo. My mom was like, why don't you think it over for a bit? And I was like, Mom, what the hell? And she's like, if I said no, he'd get it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, you little sneaky woman.
You got to be super, you know what I mean? But my daughter, she's doing her thing and she's dating this Jewish boy who's a very sweet boy. And I'm very supportive because I also know his mother's going to put an end to it.
True. He's the one that's going to end it. Yeah. For sure.
So I'm like,
what?
So I'm not going to be the bad guy on this one. Like, go.
This is when the mother-in-law could be good.
Yeah.
That is so funny. Also, I totally forgot. My first ever boyfriend was Bengali.
Oh yeah, no way.
from Queens. He was Muslim.
Okay, and how was that?
So we were on the tennis team together because I ended up playing for the boys team at Beacon on the Upper West Side.
Yes.
That's where I went
You
to
went
school.
to Beacon High
yes.
School? My son is at Lab.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and my daughter graduated Bronx Science. We're New York City public
I
school
literally
kids.
had no idea. I was gonna ask all the high school stuff. So yeah, I went to Beacon and they didn't have
Beacon is amazing.
It's
an
great.
amazing. I couldn't get my son in, but it was amazing.
they didn't have a girls tennis team.
Oh yeah.
So because of Title IX, I was able to play on the boys team. So it was like me and all the guys, and this one guy was like this cute Bengali guy from Queens. He would pretend that he couldn't speak
Oh yeah.
the language, and like
Yeah.
I'd hear him on the phone, and I'm like, "You're
Yeah.
speaking another language," and he'd be
Yeah,
like, "No,
yeah,
I'm
but
not."
we do that. Yeah, no, yeah.
And he was crazy. And my mom's like, "Does he speak another language?" And I was like, "He does, but he like lies about it."
Yeah.
He was so like, but he was kind of so because he's Muslim, like dating a white girl
Yeah.
was not the vibe.
No.
And I remember once we were like playing tennis together, me, him, and a friend, and his parents came, and he like made me leave.
Oh yeah.
But I was feeling kind of naughty. Like I was like, "Ooh, I'm just like, how sexy am I?" But and meanwhile, like we weren't having sex. We were like, we just like liked each other. Like he was really funny. We would just laugh all the time. He's from he's an immigrant from Queens. He said that he would get calls from tennis coaches about colleges, and his parents would be like, "I don't know who you are," and hang up.
No, never. Absolutely, that would be me.
And he's like, "I'm losing scholarships because my family's like doesn't know that who these people are." But then once, finally, I don't know what happened. He invited me to his house, and his mom made me like curry.
Yeah.
And one thing about me, I love to eat,
Okay.
and I love Indian food.
I knew we were connected somewhere.
I love, well, because I'm
Right.
half Italian, so
Yeah.
like food is everything to me. So I remember I devoured it. And she
Ah.
looked at me, and she got this huge smile, and she was like, "Do you want some more?"
Ah.
And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, she's making me shit. I'm eating everything. She's cooking up new stuff. I had a day where all I did was eat the mom's food and love it. By the end, we're best friends, you know? Granted, she was like, "Don't ever marry my son." But we had fun. And then I ended up going to college, but like he was my first love. Was this Bengali guy from Queens. Gorgeous. Very handsome.
And
And decently tall, like 5'11".
5'11" is tall for
Yeah,
us.
I
That's
know.
not decently tall. That's like one of the tallest you're gonna get. He would be, if India had an NBA, he would be on it.
He was so athletic. It's so naturally athletic. And yeah, I loved him. So yeah, that's a wow, throwback. Same as Imran.
Oh,
Hmm.
handsome. And there was a Imran Khan, president of Pakistan and prime minister and captain of the Indian cricket team. And the whole of India rooted for him, even though he was a Pakistani cricket, because they loved him and he was so handsome. And then we all bought the soap he recommended, and we bought the shampoo, and we ate whatever he said. Yeah, of course.
Wait, so are people in India aware of you right now?
They are. I mean, and not all awareness is good.
Yes,
But
yes, yes.
You know what I mean?
But like that's a lot of people in
That's
India.
a lot of people. I was in India a few months ago, and I couldn't believe how many people knew who I was. This was before my special even came out. I couldn't believe. I was like, "You what? What?"
I mean, that could be huge. That could be huge. That's very exciting.
I don't know. It's a lot of poor people in India. It's like, are they gonna buy my tickets? I'm not sure.
Wait, I'm literally crying. Okay, I have to play one final game with you.
Yes.
Called the 7 Deadly Sins.
Mm.
You're doing amazing. You're crushing it.
Oh God. I don't know. I'm trying not to get crushed mostly.
Okay, first question. What are you greedy about?
Oh, money. Simple. No. It's like I'm a mom. I don't even pretend, and I encourage others, women especially, not to pretend.
But
Because women have to like put on, like, "Oh, I'm gonna save the world.
I'm a
gonna do it for
caretaker.
charity."
Yeah.
There's all these. No, I need the money. I have
Yes.
3 kids, and they're very. People ask me, "How are your kids?"
But
They're
you
expensive.
decided the job you wanted to do was a job where most people who do comedy are broke.
I know, but I saw a clear opening in the market. I was like, no one on earth is doing this. Is waiting to happen. It's like, I like in some ways I feel crazy saying it, but I feel like the Christopher Columbus of like Indian comedy. You know,
So are there no Indian stand-up comics?
there is one. There's men. There's one
There's
or two
men.
men. There's
In
one
India?
in India, and he comes here.
Okay.
He works the cellar. He does shows here. He's
Is
amazing.
Russell Peters Indian? But he's Canadian.
He's Canadian Indian.
Canadian Indian.
So he's
oh,
good.
I loved Russell Peters.
He's the OG.
Yes.
He's the OG. So it's him. It's Hassan
His
Minhaj.
dad watching the Pride Parade.
Yeah. I mean,
The child abuse ones about calling the, I don't know. I loved his stuff growing up.
oh, love. And I continued. I'm in awe of
Yes.
everything he's done.
Yes.
But it's all guys. It's 3 guys and basically 3, 4, 5
no
guys.
women.
And no one does Indian mom humor. It's unfathomable. When
Yeah.
I saw that no one was doing it, I was like, I'm gonna go all in and go so hard that no
Yes.
one's gonna be able to catch up to me. Now that I've seen it.
I literally have chills. Because I felt that a little in MySpace too, where I was like, with the women in comedy, it's so sparse. And I was like, there's no one kind of like my,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just felt like
Your
there's no one like
voice-
me.
Your voice pops. You know that.
Thank
it
you.
pops. And because you do it the way, like, we're manic. We're like constantly working.
Yeah.
It's like at some point, people can't catch up because it's just sheer work ethic. Honestly,
But it
you're an
is
athlete.
true.
That explains it. And I'm
Yeah.
not an athlete. I could never be. But I always
But-
worked hard my whole life.
I mean, yeah, we were talking about in the beginning, if you have to have that X factor, but if you combine an X factor with some due diligence of like every day I'm going to do something, and yes, is it coming from some mental illness? Yes. Am I chasing something that I'll never probably attain? Yes. But is it at least making me feel alive? Yes. And
or make me money.
yes, and it's funny because you also have. I come from like I've done sales, I've done marketing too, so I love how do things go viral. I love the marketing aspect
Yes.
of it, and you are so smart and like have your lawyer background and degrees
I
and
try
shit.
to forget
You're a
about
problem
that.
solver.
Yeah.
You're a problem solver. Who are you envious of?
I'm envious of the guys in comedy. I do think they have like an inherent inbuilt advantage
Mhm.
that we're working as women. I feel like we're working to get there. I'm envious of guys in our business who just say it without a speed bump. Like I still have a mental like, should I say it? And then I have to hop over it and be like, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
But I feel like the guys just say there's no. If you look at the biggest names in this business,
Yeah.
they are people who just speak their mind.
Yes.
And I feel like
But I
I'm
think
working-
you have to go over that speed bump so the next woman can be like Zarna did it, so I can just say
I
it.
think so.
Like you're actually, even though there is an opening in the market, you're putting in all the hard work and you're in those meetings with the people being like, I don't know if this is gonna work. And
Yeah.
you're like, no, you have to take a chance on me. And it's happened. I mean, you're so early in your career too, which is fucking insane. Like it's so exciting what you're gonna be able to do.
But you know what I mean, right? I
Yes.
think as women, we do, even the most bold of us is like, should I really? Like, it's that,
Yes, I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like I inherently have an. I also was raised with like no religion, like no, and my dad was like, my dad was kind of a feminist king, where he was just he's
I
like
love your
he's
dad.
like you're
your dad
you.
needs to be a guest on the show.
He's amazing, and he's like you're you. Like, he had so much belief in me that like I didn't even understand, and sometimes there's a lot of pressure because I wanted my dad to make me proud, and that's why I have daddy issues now. But it was like he believed in me always, and he fought any dude. He loved to see me beat them. Like he loved it. So I kind of get off on being like, oh, I'm gonna say this, and they're gonna feel weird, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. And that comes from like my privilege of being in a place with like a dad that was like, you are better than the boys. Like literally that's what he put inside me. But also I do feel like with comedy too, you ever feel like I'll be doing really well on stage and like the girls are laughing, the guys are laughing, but sometimes it's like, oh, well, that's female humor.
Yeah.
And then I'll get off stage and some guy will go on and all the comics are watching him like he's doing some unique art.
Oh yeah.
Like
It's-
no one watches my set.
No, it's de rigueur. They dismiss you because you're a woman.
Or
Even-
like our crowd is somehow different than them, and it's like no, like our crowd wants funny.
Exactly. But you know what? part of it now I've realized is that we as women also seem to seek their attention and approval.
Mhm.
And I'm so over it. I'm so about bonding with other women who are doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, you please go in your own lane. We're the
Yes.
ones with the buying power. Like,
Yes.
I've had enough.
We're the consumers.
We're buying the tickets.
Girlies are who's sharing the videos?
Exactly.
Who's sharing it to the group chats?
You know, I'm so over it. In real life, they all act like they know what they're doing. Like, you please, step aside.
The amount of times I've been taken to a corner, been like, "Hey, I have some advice on this
Oh,
bit or
yeah.
this whatever," and it's fine. Like, some men have really elevated me to where I am for sure, or out of spite, they've helped me because I'm like, I have to show you. But I do think that also, the internet has enabled us to not have to suck their dicks. Because before, how do you get on a show?
No, of course.
A guy or sometimes a female booker, but like another person has to believe in a female comic. And if they believe in you, there's not room for more female comics on that lineup. Only one woman a lineup.
Yep.
Sometimes they'll put them back to back because they'll merge into one.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, I see this and I go, but you know what? I could also go my way.
Yeah.
And I think the dudes respect it at the end of the day because they're like I respect them, they respect me, but I don't need to wait around for you to pick me.
Exactly. And I think we're there now. We're like, you know what? Respect me or not. I don't even care. I honestly am so
true.
over it. I'm like, I have my relationship with my audience, and that is what I care about.
Yes.
That is number 1, 2, and 3, and everything else is irrelevant.
1,000%. 1,000. And I think sometimes other comics will psych themselves out because we do have like a fan base where they'll be like, oh, like it's Hannah's crowd. And it's like, Hannah's crowd loves to laugh.
Yeah.
And they love to meet new people and they love any kind of humor. If your bits aren't working, don't blame me.
No.
Don't blame. I know it's harder because like they, obviously they know me, but like, you can like get a whole new audience.
First of all, Hannah is being generous in sharing her crowd with you. What have you done for Hannah?
What have you done for me?
When is the last time a guy was like, you know what? I have a sold out show. You want to come on my show?
Yeah.
Most times I get invited because they know I'm going to sell tickets for them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, Hannah is being generous and saying, come perform for my crowd.
Yes.
Because as you know, the number one challenge in this or any business is actually getting the audience.
Yeah, and what's crazy is people do have followings, but you've gotten these people to buy tickets
to
and put
convert
seats.
It. Absolutely.
And that's the game change. That's why like you see someone with a lot of followers, it doesn't always equate to ticket sales.
No, and we do live. I know you had a show last night.
Mm-hmm.
I have 8 shows over 4th of July weekend. They're all sold out.
It's amazing.
So if Zarna is saying come perform, and if you're gonna whine about my audience, please don't come. You know what I mean?
No, let her. And also, like I like to perform in front of other audiences because then you know what material really works. Because they're not gonna give you the like mercy laugh of any kind. What do you What's the last time you experienced extreme wrath or anger?
Oh, on the daily. I live in New York. You know what I mean? My daughter, I can't even. She's going to college and she always has these ideas about like wanting to become an artist. And, I can't.
And you're an artist.
No. Okay. We're not going to talk about me because I've told my kids, you cannot do what mom is doing. You just cannot. Okay. You're not smart enough. So every day she'll call me, she's like, my Latin teacher is so nice and my computer teacher is so mean. You're going to learn the computer. I'm not paying $85,000. So you are like going to learn Latin in college. And you're like, well, she's so nice. I know she's nice because there's 3 people in her class and there's 700 in this class. You know why? Because they need jobs. Like, the WHEA strike that's happening right now? I send it to my kids every day. I'm like, look at these poor people. They're like fighting for a 2% raise. Ain't no Google engineers fighting for a 2% raise. Do you see any like Boeing aircraft people, like people who design rocket ships, like trying, please give me a raise? No, because they're designing shit that the world needs.
It's so funny because my brother is in finance. My brother and I are very opposite, and he just had a baby. Her name's Lois. She's adorable. And he is like, I'm not going to do what my dad did. I'm going to let her play sports. But he goes, this girl is going to become a computer engineer.
Yes.
She's going to be a coder. He's sitting there. He has Legos in front of her. That's the new...
brother needs to meet me. We need to play sports for fun. I believe in sports.
It's like be Richard Williams for coding, okay? And also because women now, it's like, let's be honest, more women are in college. Women now are like, okay, we'll admit we're smart. We could.
Yeah, we're not gonna hide it anymore.
We're not gonna
You know what I mean? There was a time when you like suppressed.
Yeah, I mean, Ali Wong jokes about like
Yeah.
maybe it was smart. These girls were pretending they were dumb so they could just do Pilates all day and get their nails done. And it's like, stop telling people we could do shit. But at the end of the day, it's like, we could actually make serious money.
Yeah.
And not have to like
Depend on these guys at all.
Exactly. And that
Absolutely.
also, isn't that true love, to be with someone that you don't need, you just want?
Yeah, I don't know about that because I have messed up. I fucked up there. My sister got arranged, and
Yeah.
she like has a 15,000 square foot house,
Yes.
a private plane,
Yes.
and a dead mother-in-law.
Yeah. Oh.
She got it all.
Wow.
Meanwhile, I am gonna go fall in love, and I'm like hoping for a Metro card on Valentine's Day. You know what I mean? So I have mixed feelings about the
But-
whole thing.
They say like love is a lot about the love story in your head. And if you truly believe in arranged marriage, I feel like that is love.
Well, she's in love. They've been
Yeah.
married like 30 something years, and
Yeah.
all their kids are doctors. Meanwhile, my kid wants to be a writer. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like I have mixed feelings about the whole love thing.
I mean, it's fascinating, especially because like love evolves and becomes like best friend, comfort. You have like attraction is definitely nice, but like it's not the dopamine it was in the first 6 months. So
6 days, you know, depending.
6 hours.
I don't know,
6
wasn't
minutes.
even there.
You never met your husband. When was the last time you were a sloth? So can you ever just like sleep in and be lazy?
Yeah, all the time.
Is your son still home?
He just finished junior year.
Oh, nice.
So my kids, what we love to do, my kids and I, on my off days, because they're off for the summer, and is watch crazy shitty TV
Yes.
till 2-3 in the morning and then sleep in. That is our biggest luxury.
You guys are wild.
We're wild. I'm keeping them up. I'm like, one more episode, one more, because I have so few days that I can do it. That
Yeah.
the day that I can,
Yeah.
I'm like, one more episode or whatever.
How do you manage your schedule as a mom and also just someone who like has a husband? Like you have a real life.
With the husband, I don't really pay attention
Yeah.
to. He's fine.
He's
He
doing
does
great.
his own thing.
He's an adult.
He goes to sleep at 8, which he should because he has a job.
Yes.
And he should focus on that.
Yes.
Somebody needs to
Yes.
make money. And I have now, because I'm on the road so much, but the days that I'm off, we really try to seize those.
Yes, I'm the same. Like I like to just numb my brain
Yeah.
because we always have to be on. I'm like, I want to be completely off as many stupid shows as I could watch.
Right? What's your biggest guilty pleasure show?
I'm into just like I'll watch every documentary.
Oh, really?
I like to watch I love murder documentaries and cult documentaries. Any like disturbing documentary, or I love the corny music docs of like how a star became a star.
Oh,
And Des
yeah.
is like, this fluff piece, it's the same thing every time. You know, they're in the Uber and they're like, I wanted this life. Like, I love watching that stuff. And, it's like, this is my town. And then someone tries to like touch their hand and they're like, ew, please stop. And yeah, I love to see people like live their dream. And I think it's also a manifestation. Like when I watch it a lot, I'm like, this
Yeah,
is
you
what
get
life should be.
inspired.
And I love seeing people do it too. I love telling my friends, like, what the fuck are you doing? And I like to be the hype person. I don't know, I'm a Leo. When was the last time you lusted over someone? So besides your husband, who we love, do you have a celebrity
the husband,
crush?
25 years.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a thing for power.
Oh.
Yeah, like I think like political people in power, people who
I like Justin Thoreau.
Justin Thoreau I actually got to meet him a few years ago.
Wait,
And-
is he the Canadian Prime Minister? Or
No,
Justin?
that's Trudeau.
Oh, I like Justin Trudeau.
Oh, I thought you were
I like
talking
them
about
both.
Justin Thoreau is Jennifer
Jennifer
Aniston's
Aniston's
ex.
ex.
But he also wrote Iron Man. Did
Insane.
you know that?
Actually, I heard of that, but I thought it was made up.
When I met him, I was like, you wrote Iron Man? I love Iron Man.
So he.
And I was like, and we know you because of her? What? So yes, he's cool. Justin Trudeau, very cute. Very cute. And the Canadians who seem to be mixed on him. I was just in
Yeah.
Canada for a while.
Yeah.
But I get it. Like he's
Yeah, I said it was hot in Toronto, and people were like in between. I was
Yeah.
like, "You're too close to him." See,
Yeah,
I look
yeah.
from afar.
Yeah.
I
And
just see the
also,
jawline.
You're like, what are your options here?
No, literally,
You know?
the bar is so low in America.
I relate. You're like,
He only touched one girl inappropriately.
Yeah.
He's an angel, okay? Final question. You're
Yeah.
doing amazing. What advice do you give to the listeners on how to cope with your hell? When you're going through it, when you're in a dark place, when you feel helpless, how do you survive?
Okay, how do you survive when you're feeling hopeless? You should know that somebody else has it worse. I'm very motivated by knowing that I'm not the worst at anything. That's why I read. I also read a lot of the murder mysteries.
Yes.
Oh, exactly. Sudden get murdered and raped.
Life is about perspective.
It's perspective.
And you have to shake yourself.
And I'm not making fun of the people to whom bad things happen.
No, you have to realize.
You learn. Like, I actually spent a lot of time at the Museum of Jewish Heritage, like learning about the Holocaust during my very dark days. And it gave me a lot of hope. The people came out of that.
Yes.
And built lives.
Well, yeah, you realize your mind could play tricks on you. And I was guilty of like something bad would happen. And I really would believe I'm like, no one has it worse than me. Like, I'd be like, I'm in such a fucked up situation, like and that's how like people get into their horrible spaces, because you literally believe that there's nothing worse than what's happening to you.
I know, but it's a spiral.
You have to get out of that spiral.
But the best way to get out of that spiral is to know that you have to live another day so you can torture your kids and their spouses just the way your mother-in-law tortured you. You owe that to yourself. So you cannot allow yourself to fall into that abyss.
At the end of the day, just exist, even just to piss off one man.
Yes.
And you've done your job.
And you've done a job for all of us.
Yes. A feminist icon. Zarna, where can people watch your special, follow you on social media? Give me all the tea.
1 in a Billion on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
It's an Amazon original. It's streaming all over the world.
So
and if
good.
you have Prime, if you don't have Prime, get the Prime to watch this and you get free shipping.
Yeah, how do you not have Prime?
Yeah, exactly.
Or steal someone else's Prime.
Oh, for sure. Like, our morality is right here. Do whatever you need to do to get to it.
Your mother-in-law's Prime password, get it.
Gift it to your mother-in-law. And I'm at Zarna Garg on all major platforms.
Yeah, your TikTok's amazing. Your Instagram's amazing.
Thank you.
And you're on the road. So
I'm
see you on the road.
I'm performing like every weekend because, bills.
Make that money.
Yeah.
Zara, thank you for coming to Hell. You're amazing. I'm so happy we did this. And we're going to be friends for life.
Yes, I feel it. I feel it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.